My mom met my dad after already having 3 kids. My dad had 12 girls. I'm his only boy. He wanted a boy forever, and when he met my mom, he said, "You're going to be the one that gives me one." So they got married, had me. My dad passed away when I was 1, so I never really got to know who he was. My mom, she raised all of her kids by herself. Until I was 14, I was physically, mentally, and sexually abused. When I turned 13 and a half, 14 years old, I was able to break away from that. But during that time, I also was being given drugs, and it was by someone that was in my family. So I probably used consistently until I was 17, 18 years old. And then I started getting in trouble. When I was 19, I went to prison for drugs possession. And I did 5 years straight. When I got out of prison, I was doing whatever I could to stay high and to find housing for myself. And I went into a post office to charge my phone because I knew someone that would let me stay the night with them. And I passed out in the post office. And I woke up the very next day, and it was July 3rd. It was either July 3rd or July 4th, so it's like right on a holiday. But I wake up the next morning in the post office, and there are 9 police officers surrounding me. I have marijuana stuck in my hair, which I have no clue where it came from. I have a needle of meth that is like maybe a foot, 2 feet away from where I'm like laying, sleeping. And there's Xanaxes under my leg. And I don't remember anything except for walking into the post office and trying to charge my phone. But when something like that is going on in your life to where you don't remember the night before, something is terribly wrong. And so I really remember the cops, they put me in handcuffs, slammed my face into the door, put me in their police car, and I just remember bawling all the way to the police station, or about halfway. And it was so strange because during me crying, I remember crying out to God and saying, "You know what? I give up. I can't do this anymore. I need you to help me. I need you to show me how to live a good life. Show me how I'm supposed to live, how I'm supposed to interact with people, how I'm supposed to walk. Show me how to do everything all over again." But I remember being booked in the county jail. They told me how much time I had to do. And during that time, I said, I really need to develop more of an understanding of God. As a kid, church for me was a building. I didn't understand the whole concept of a relationship with Christ. I didn't understand any of it. So I remember going to church one time in the county jail, and the pastor was a bishop, and it was so strange. He came up to me during the service, or after service, and he said, "You have recently cried out to God in a way that you never have before, and He's heard your cry. I want you to read this Bible." And he gave me the Bible. So I started reading the Bible that night, and I read that Bible every day. I still do. I think it was August or September. I was about halfway through, and I had just gotten sentenced, and I had been praying to God to give me like a year-long treatment or a year-long recovery to help restore my life instead of these 14 years. But I said, no matter what, let your will be done within the situation. Just help me through it. Just help me get through all of this, And I didn't get a year-long treatment, not in the way that I thought. When I did my year in the Department of Corrections, and they told me that I was up for parole, they said, well, where do you want to go? Where do you want to home plan to? And I was like, home planning to my home where my mom is out of the question. A, I don't think she would let me back because of all the bridges that I burned with her. And B, I don't think it's a good thing for me to do. Anyway, I'm 32 years old, and I've never really had any responsibilities in my life and lived by myself and took care of myself and supported me. So I told them I needed some time to think about it. So they gave me a bunch of applications, like 8 of them. They're like, fill all these out, we'll turn them all in, and then we'll see what happens. So I filled them all out, I turned them all in. What happened was I got accepted to every single one of them. Yeah, the Victory Mission was one of them. And I remember I said, just give me one more day. And she said, okay, well, I want you to take this application with you. She gave me the application. Victory Mission was a 6-month program. So I'm like, all right. So I went home, or went to my cell, prayed about it, Woke up the next morning and I felt like God was saying, yeah, this is where you were meant to go. So I signed my name and I gave it to her. And then I think it was like 4 or 5 days later, she calls me back in. She's like, you've been accepted in Victory Mission. It's great. You're ready to go. You'll be released on August 31st. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. And then she calls me back 2 days later and she's like, but the program requirements have changed. It's now a year long. Man, the enemy was playing with my head. I was like, 6 months? Doable. A year? You asking for a whole lot of time, but a year, I don't know if I can do a year. I don't have too many years left. But I felt like at that point, because I literally was getting ready to walk out the door when she said a year. And I felt like God was speaking to me, telling me Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. If I would have walked out that door without signing that paper, then I'm not doing that. I'm not applying it. And that was the next step for me, is applying everything. So it was just, he was laying it all out for me. And I was listening. I still am.